Hello, my name is Jahron.
And I'm Sam.
And today we're here with episode 2 of our sub-series, Our Thoughts. And we have so many different topics for you all regarding K-pop and what's going on in today's K-pop world. So here are our topics.
So the 3 things we chose to talk about today are T.O.P's accusation of using marijuana, the Kai and Kaistal breakup, and Sistar's disbandment.
Yes, we'll start with T.O.P.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm sure you guys have a general idea as to what's going on. A snake came forward and decided to snitch by saying that she smoked marijuana with T.O.P. October of 2016, so last year, and they tested him and they came back positive. Now, honestly, correct me if I'm wrong about any of this. You know, if there's so many sources that are out right now, it's a little confusing. So definitely correct me on anything I say in this. And so they tested him. It came back positive, and right now he's under investigation. Also, recently they just tested all the rest of the 4 members, and they all came back negative, so they're okay. They're out of the light for that. And so yeah, this all for me boils down to Korea's stance on marijuana and marijuana use. Now, I know that we act like, oh my gosh, like this is just ridiculous. How can we think like that? But we have to realize that like they're a completely different society. America is way more open to it than they are, obviously. And so it's like a culture shock to us to see them react so harshly to someone smoking pot in like their own home or something, you know. And I know like people here, you know, in America, like before they were getting convicted for like selling pot or stuff like that, and they get pretty harsh sentences. But like now, the fact that now it's legal, you know, it's like that means we are stepping forward. Whereas Korea, they're just in a really weird place when it comes to their politics right now. And the fact that this is like such a big deal is just kind of mind-blowing, because I feel like Korea, it's just like they don't see, this is like where it kind of stems from. Korea doesn't get mental issues. They don't get that. They don't get anxiety. They don't get depression. Like they don't understand that. And the fact that they both came forward and, well, I know she came forward and said that she was using it because she had anxiety and depression. So that's why she was using it. And I'm guessing that's probably why T.O.P is using it too, because the life as like a top idol like that, I would imagine it gets pretty fucking stressful. So I would not blame him if he smoked marijuana, honestly. Us personally as Americans don't see the issue in this. And I know a lot of Korean people who are very mad at him about this. And I want to say like why, but then I know why. It's because that's just how their society is, and that's how they're raised, and that's just what they know. And all I can say is like I really do hope that Korea better educates themselves on the benefits of marijuana. I personally do not smoke it, but I am pro marijuana. I'm for it. Like, you know, do what you want to do. I don't care, because I know it can really help a lot of people. And especially, you know, with medical issues, you know, with chronic pain, anxiety, depression, like I know a lot of people it really helps. And I just don't see the point in restricting people something that can naturally help them, rather than taking like hard narcotics or something. And that can really damage their body and give them really bad addiction issues. And that's just like one thing I don't understand. I feel like that's one thing I really hope in the future Korea really advances on, because I really do hope they educate themselves on this, because, you know, marijuana isn't like this. It's not like heroin, you know. It's not. I would rather people in Korea smoke marijuana than cigarettes, because they have such a huge cigarette society. Like they're huge on cigarettes in Korea. Cigarettes and drinking, both things that are really horrible for your body. Yeah. And it doesn't make sense why they would crack down on something like marijuana, honestly. And like I tweeted this on Twitter, I said, about T.O.P, I said, I'd rather him smoke marijuana than cigarettes, because he does smoke cigarettes. And because cigarettes can kill you. And it's just, I don't know, it's just, this whole situation is just a lot. And I really do hope that we all pull through this. I know VIPs aren't that worried, because Big Bang, they've all had their scandals, and they've all gotten through them. I know, mostly people are annoyed right now. They're annoyed that this is happening, because why would she come forward now and say this? What's her motive, And I feel like it hasn't been said yet, but it just doesn't make sense. And another thing that came forward was that apparently she's been prosecuted and convicted before 3 other times for using drugs. So it's just there was literally people commenting before this news came out saying, oh, she's a queen, what's her fan club? Does she have a light stick? It was literally crazy. People were actually fans of her because they were anti Big Bang. And it's just well, sorry guys, but your girl has literally been convicted 3 times for drugs. Like I said, I have no ill will against people who smoke marijuana. I frankly don't care. But when you come forward and do it in a way where it looks like you're trying to ruin someone's life by knowing that your country is against people who smoke marijuana, for you as someone who smokes marijuana to come forward and rat someone else out, that honestly just makes you look like a snake, and that you want to ruin that person's life. And honestly, I don't get it. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that topic. And we're gonna move on to our second topic, which is Kim Jong-un and Crystal Jung's breakup that happened. It happened pretty recently, a couple days ago. So, okay. If you guys follow us on Twitter, you know how we feel about this situation.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Now, I know a lot of people don't, there's a lot of people saying if you are celebrating this breakup, you're not an XOL, you're not a Kim Jong-un
celebration, yeah, come on, yeah, nah, 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 and I'm an XOL, and I'm celebrating, nah, 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 nah. Now, say something about that.
Oh, we don't hate Crystal. We don't hate Kai, obviously. I like Crystal. I feel like she's beautiful. She is a really good addition to FX. She is a good actress too. I've seen her dramas, and she's just an all-rounded, really, I love her personality. Her sister is Jessica, who's an amazing person. They're this duo, these 2 sisters, legendary so duo. Iconic. I swear to God. And the only reason why I was saying that, because on Twitter I said, why, it was hard to believe they were real in the first place, which it was true. It's okay, once you're an SM stan for as long as I have, you see patterns with SM. Either when there's a scandal or an album coming out, a big album, they always pull something. And they've done this multiple times before. One example, Bacon and Taeyeon. Okay, I know a lot of people really did like them together, and that's fine. But it was really fishy that happened literally right after Chris announced him leaving EXO. And you literally saw them on one date. Sound familiar? You saw them on one date, out in the open in a car, and they kissed. Really? You know for a fact that shit would have been hidden, especially if they were kissing. And the same with Kai and Crystal. They literally just had this random date out of nowhere, came outside wearing matching clothes, acting like they were all lovey-dovey. It's just actually, they didn't even act like they were lovey-dovey. They just looked like friends, honestly. Yeah. And that was the last time we ever saw them together. That was it. And it's just I think that also happened because there's 2 things. One of them was that NCT, they were just about to release the new subunit. And then before that, I know a lot of people, this is a reason. And I know a lot of people get all huffity puffity about it. But I feel like it was a valid reason. There was there was an article that came out
Uh-huh.
about 2 male idols supposedly dating.
Huh?
Now, I don't know. Like, people were saying that it was like someone in a big company in a really popular group, and they were saying, we're going to release it, we're going to do it. But all of a sudden, it went quiet. It was just, nothing was said, nothing happened, and then all of a sudden, Kai and Kaistal came out. Like, I know, people would be like, oh my god, these shippers are so weird, like, they're not real, blah, blah, blah. But guys, it's like, you can't assume someone's sexuality. Like, we're not assuming he's gay. We're not assuming any of that. We're just saying it's just kind of a weird coincidence. And, you know, people are like, oh, like, you know, here's something that really pisses me off. When people are just like, oh, like, don't assume he's gay. Where I'm just like, well, don't assume he's straight. Because you don't know unless he's personally told you. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Jahron, what do you think about this whole situation?
Well, I personally feel like Sam said, I feel like this goes for literally anybody who is an idol. I feel like we shouldn't just assume that everybody is just straight. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't assume anything because, I mean, probability, somebody in K-pop has to be queer. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just...
It would make no sense.
It just makes no sense. So, I mean, that's that. That's, you know, you don't have to like it, get over it. That's my opinion on that. Mm-hmm. And secondly, I just feel like Kai and Kaistal didn't, to me personally, I didn't feel like they were dating. Never saw them together.
I did see a chemistry between the two of them.
Didn't feel the chemistry.
I didn't.
You know, a lot of people was like, oh god, they're power couple. And I'm just like, well, there have to be a couple first. Because, I mean, I just didn't see it.
There was just something not meshing with Kai and Kaistal. It wasn't working. Like, it literally looked fake. Like, it looked staged. Horribly staged.
At least with Baekhyun and Taeyeon, I feel like that's a little bit more believable.
See, I didn't. I feel like that one was worse because...
You think it's worse?
Because literally, Chris disbands and literally not even 2 days later, this comes out of nowhere.
But think about it like this. If that's the case, then how come Baekhyun and Taeyeon currently have such a weird relationship now?
Because I feel like they didn't want to be put into a relationship. They wanted to stay friends.
But now it doesn't even seem like they're
probably awkward with each other.
Yeah,
because forced them into a relationship.
I don't know.
And they had to kiss. Yeah. Like, and the fact that they literally were like looking at the camera when they were like going, like it was
that's hella funny.
I know. Like, and she was driving.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
We love a sugar mama.
I don't know. If they were real, fine. That's fine. I don't care. They can date whoever the hell they want. I'm not one of those delusional fans who think I'm gonna like marry them someday.
I am.
Well, I'm like, I have my fantasies, but you know, I know that
Ooh la la.
Okay. But yeah, like, I know that me personally, as a secondary source looking from the outside, it just didn't look real. And I've noticed that SM only approves of relationships if they're in the same company. Mm-hmm. When it's outside of the company, they deny it. They deny it. They deny it. And or like, or if you're like an older, if you've been in the company for a long time, they don't care as much. But if you're like on like EXO level, and below, they're just like, no, like they're not dating. What are you talking about? That's not real. Whereas if it's someone from their company, oh yes, they've been friends for a long time and they just decided they just want, they want to try this, and it's just like, what's going on there? Like, why can't they date someone outside their company? Like, that's where it doesn't make sense for me. And the reason I say that is because Girls' Generation, a lot of them are dating people who aren't in the company. And nothing was said about that. It was just news.
Just because they're seniors, it's okay.
Yeah, because, it's fine. Like, some women from Super Junior all of a sudden just getting married out of nowhere. Like, it's just like, and she's a musical actress. Like, she's not even a K-pop idol. So it's just like, stuff like that is just like, oh, okay, it came and went. Like, that's fine. But it's just like, I don't know. I feel like if it really is SM putting these people together in hopes of
covering
up a situation or bringing attention to a situation that's going to happen after, like an album release or like just something to promote somebody. Like, I feel like if they're really doing that,
it's wrong.
Then that's so wrong. Like, that's what I feel like they're doing. Because that's, I don't know, because it's just, there's just so many things that add up, and it's just like, I can't see anything but that. And that's sad, because we shouldn't have to think like that. Because if these people really were in a relationship, like, it didn't look real. And that's sad, because you want it to be real, right? Mm-hmm. People are just getting really defensive on Twitter about people who are, you know, not upset about them breaking up. And it's just like, why should I be upset about it? It's not my relationship. It's not my life. Like, why should I be upset about it? And it's just like, that's where I feel like people get too involved with idols, is when they get super upset about seeing a couple break up, or it's just like, I don't see why people care. Like, I don't know. Like,
was Kai smacking your ass? I don't think so, because he was doing that to me.
Oh my god. It's the same with how people feel about, like, when someone's like, oh, I wonder if this idol's had sex or something. It's just like, probably. So?
They're probably getting it in right now as we're talking.
I know. Why do you care? Like, that's what I
Why do you care what me and Bacon are doing? Stop, leave us alone. We're happy.
Oh my god. No, it's just like, that's just like something I really don't understand. It's like, you're not their mother, you're not their girlfriend, you're not any of that, you're a fan. And that's most likely all you're ever gonna be. So,
well, damn.
It's the truth though. Like, I'm just really sick of these delusional ass fans. Cause it's just like, let it go. Cause you're not in charge of them, you don't own them. No, it's just knock it off. It's gross, quite honestly. That's just how we feel about this situation. All the best to the both of them. I hope neither of them get hate because of this. I really hope Crystal doesn't get hate because of this, because neither of them were at fault for this, you know? It's just like...
Hopefully this doesn't ruin another relationship like it did with Bacon and Taeyeon.
I know, yeah, because like now it's so awkward to see Bacon and Taeyeon in the same room.
They just don't look at each other. You could tell it's tension between them.
I don't know, it's just awkward. I don't know, but yeah.
Moving on to our last and final topic is none other than Sistar's breakup. And Sam, what are your thoughts on that?
All I can say is that it's depressing, honestly, because Sistar is such an iconic girl group that's it's not even funny. Like, they are so iconic, and the fact that such an iconic group is breaking up is just it doesn't make sense to me, honestly. Like, I know this was a mutual decision between all of them. They all even released a letter saying how they loved all their fans and that this is what they all decided on. But it's just like, I feel like there's just more to it. Like, why? Why did they break up? Like, was it something with their company? Were they just not on the same terms? Like, I don't even know if they're going to renew their contracts, because their contract renewal is coming up. So I don't know if they're renewing their contracts with their companies or not, with Starship or not. But I don't know. It's like Starship just lost one of their big money makers.
Yeah.
They just lost them, and KPJAW and Monsta X. Like that, and Boyfriend, but they're like in the dungeon right now, so.
But aren't they coming back?
They're having to come back. They just announced that they're having to come back, so we'll see how that goes. And I don't know, it's just like, we said this in our thoughts, our episode 1, where I said that it almost feels like companies are weeding out their older groups.
Yeah.
And trying to make way for their newer ones, their more fresh ones, you know?
Yeah, the young faces,
And like, don't get us wrong, we love Monsta X. We're about to go see their asses in July, okay? Like, they're... That was a really sad tone.
Oh, no, wait. I need... Okay, and we're about to see Monsta X. We're pretty excited. So yes, don't confuse or twist our words. But what we're saying is these companies are weeding out the old groups, the groups that got them to where they are.
The groups that got their companies to where they are.
And it's like, where's your loyalty at Starship? Where's your loyalty at YG? Like, this is what I'm talking about. But I mean, I don't want to judge Starship because I don't know the ins and outs of their relationship with Sistar personally. But you know, whatever Sistar's problems were, I feel like Starship should have stepped in and tried to fix whatever issues they may have and to appease them in any way and to make sure that, you know, let's keep going for 7 more years and stuff. Like, Sistar was their piggy bank.
Yeah, pretty much. Sistar, you know, they are a second generation group. And I don't know, like, the second generation is slowly disappearing.
Yeah.
And we don't have a lot of those people left. And it quite honestly is incredibly upsetting because they are what built K-pop to what it is now.
Today, yeah.
Now, for people who don't believe that their K-pop group wouldn't be where it is today without those second generation idols, you need to kind of take your head out of your ass. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna say a lot of the newer fans. A lot of the newer fans, they love hyping up their group, and when they hype up their group, they like to put older idol groups down.
Oh, guys, I feel like me being an XOL and I'm a part of a lot of different fandoms, but I feel like EXO had to, like, with like every group, they had to start from the bottom to get popular. And I feel like, you know, who helped pave the way for them is their senior groups, like Super Junior, like TVXQ. Oh, to say that they're not popular, they've done it on their own, they didn't. Because with JYP, it was Miss A, it was Wonder Girls that helped get JYP to where they were, okay? BTS,
BTS, I'll give an exception to BTS because they were their only group under the company except for Glam, but we know how that went. And so BTS really did build their company to where it is now.
Yes.
BTS for their company is like how HOT, TVXQ was for SM.
Yeah.
How Wonder Girls and Miss A was for JYP and 2PM, 2 AM. Like, their YG was Big Bang. Big Bang is what made YG where they are today. And that's what BTS is for their company. But fans have to realize when it comes to the popularity portion of it, BTS is where they are now because of their seniors.
Yeah.
They themselves have said that. It came out of their mouths that that's how they got to where they are today. Is because of the inspiration they gather from their seniors. And I feel like when people say the opposite, I think, but your idol who you idolize, who you hype up all the time, says the complete opposite. So why are you having a different opinion to this? Like, it almost makes me want to say, if you really truly believe that, could you imagine yourself saying that to your idol? Like, can you imagine yourself saying, oh yeah, I love you and you're nothing like SHINee or EXO or like any other or just any other really popular groups. Like, you're nothing like them. Like, you don't have to worry about them. Where it's just like, you might even name off a group who they, like, I've seen a lot. There was a fight between ARMYs and VIPs. Like, they were going at each other. And I'm just like, y'all, like ARMY, you guys need to back off that one because Big Bang is like BTS's like #1 senior to them. Like, they love Big Bang to the moon and back. So imagine them seeing their fans calling Big Bang flops or old. And it's just like, how do you think they feel seeing their fans talk about their seniors like that? Now, I'm not trying to call out ARMYs for all this shit because we're ARMYs as well. We love BTS. BTS is my top 3 boy groups. But I'm gonna call shit as I see it.
Exactly.
And this is what I see. And it's just like, and I'm not gonna say the EXO-Ls are like the perfect fandom because we're not. Hell no, we're not. We have our bad apples, and so does every other fandom. But right now, I'm mostly talking about newer fans because they have this premonition that my idol is gaining their own popularity on their own terms. Like, no one else had anything to do with it. And it's just like, that's not the case. And I just don't see how people don't see that. Quite honestly, it's disrespectful. Horribly disrespectful. BTS is your idol. Big Bang is BTS's idol. You know, it's just like, they're like a world away from them. And it's just like, I'll never understand BTS. I am so happy about their popularity. I cry when they won that Billboard award. Like, I was so happy for them. But sometimes the fans tend to ruin that happiness. And I really wish that wasn't the case, because I support BTS, but sometimes these fandoms really piss me off, and it makes me not want to be a part of that fandom.
I personally, I do agree. But like, and this is not just for ARMYs or anything. This is a lot of groups. Like, I get annoyed with XOLs. I get annoyed with a lot of group fandoms.
Oh, for sure.
I just don't understand, like, why are you fighting other fandoms, talking about who's better, who's that. At the end of the day, it's all just music anyways. If you personally feel like there's a group that has better music, then go ahead, feel that way. But once you start disrespecting another group's art and talent, then it's just, that's when it becomes a problem. So, and you need to respect that, you know, I mean, you're just, obviously, you're not going to like everybody. Mm-hmm. But I feel like you shouldn't be vocal and say, oh, well, this group's a flop compared to my group. Well, I mean, that's not true. Like, I don't know how, it's as simple as that. Like,
the only way I would justify calling another group a flop is if the members themselves aren't good people. That's it. Like, if you don't like their music, that doesn't mean they're a flop. It just means you don't like their music, because other people like their music.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you don't have the right to call another group a flop just because you don't like their music or they're not charting or something.
Yeah.
You would just call yourself, I'm just not a fan of them. That's all you have to say. I'm not a fan of them. You don't have to say they're a flop. They make really shitty music. They're nothing like my group. It's just like, what does that get you? Where does that get you? Nowhere. It makes you look like a bitch, quite honestly. And it's just like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. And kind of stemming back to our original topic, which is Sistar Disbandment.
Pretty much my thoughts on that is I'm really sad. I mean, like I said before, like, Starship should have done whatever it took to keep them alive. Like, but, you know, if this is what they wanted, we have no choice but to respect it. And if it's going to make them happier people, then you know what? Be happy, everybody, because that's all that matters is your sanity, your mental stability. And like, I know it's a lot being an idol, so, you know, Sistar was over it, you know, it's time to rest then, and then get back in the game when you're ready. So that's that on that.
I really do hope in the future they have like a reunion or something.
Oh yeah. Like, so those are all the topics. So I know we said only 3, but it seemed like we did more.
I'll just put "and more" in the title. Yeah. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this Our Thoughts video. I know on our last one you guys were saying you guys should do this more. So when we want to just, you know, gather more topics up so we can put it into one video, you know, because a lot of stuff has happened and. Yeah, we want to talk about it. So let us know what you guys think about all of this. Give us your opinion about all this. We'd love to hear that. Definitely give us, you know, some constructive criticism. Like, we want to have a conversation.
Yes.
We don't want everyone to agree with us. Like, we want to see, like, some opposition. Like, like, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? We want to see, you know, some people having different opinions. So, yeah. Follow us on our social media. Do all that. Just, yeah.
And yes, I guess with that being said, we will kiss you guys.